Hello and welcome back to Let's Play the Journeyman Project Pegasus Prime. Last time we figured out when and where the temporal rips occurred when the distortion started. So now we gotta figure out exactly what instigated these rips and stop them from happening and take out whoever was causing them to happen. So actually, because I've played this game before, we're going to take the optimal path, which means today we're actually going to visit all three of the time zones and basically gather items that we need to expediently complete each time zone. It's very much like the later games in the series, like Buried in Time and Legacy of Time, where you have to travel back and forth between time zones to get everything you need. Whereas the first game, or well, the first iteration of this game, the Journeyman Project and the Journeyman Project Turbo, those you could if you did them in the right order, you could complete the whole game in one shot. But they changed that up for Pegasus Prime. So, with that being said, we're going to start in 2185. Morimoto Colony, Coppertese Minor, Mars, temporal distance was that, let's see, 100,000 million, 4,213,981,443 seconds. Spatial distance, 56,216,422.7 kilometers. Energy, 10,986.5 terajoules. And for those who don't know how much a joule is, well, let's just say that a terajoule is a fucking lot. So this is basically... Oh fuck, what comes after Tera? Giga? No. Giga's before. Is it Exo? Exobyte? Let's see, scientific prefixes. Well, scientific unit prefixes. Yeah, that gets me. Yeah, metric. Let's see. I think it would be pico. 10 to 12, because Terra is... No, Terra's 10 to 12. Giga is 10 to the 9th. So we want 10 to the 15th. Then... power of 15. Well, whatever the inverse of femto is. Here, this should give a good list. Peta. Okay, it's peta. So, or quadrillion. So this is basically 10.98 petajoules, which is fucking mind-blowing. And I think somewhere, maybe I'm mistaken, but I thought somewhere, basically, maybe in a manual somewhere or something, I think it stated that when it comes to the energy required for a temporal jump, the time matters more than the distance. So we can fly all over the solar system, no problem, but going back in time is what really cranks up the energy usage. Doesn't make sense. I mean, we see the global transporter, which we don't know what the range of that is, but presumably it's probably around the same as this machine, and we're going to another planet, so... But with that being said, let's head to Mars.
You are about to travel to the Morimoto Mars colony during the year 2185. Analysis of the compared history records indicates that there are two events that did not occur in the correct history. The Morimoto colony should not have been destroyed, and the alien ship orbiting Mars should have been able to leave undamaged. You must ensure that these events unfold properly in order to restore the correct order of events.
Shuttle 1 has just departed from the East Gantry.
And we can see shuttles 2 and 3 are still in their docks. But let's look around. Yeah, we're on Mars, baby. Yeah. And we can't interact with these things. This is an emergency exit only, which we are not allowed to use because, well, there's no emergency. Not yet, at least. Very beautiful view. You can see the dome beyond. Whereas this is kind of just a gantry.
Bienvenue à la colonie Morimoto sur Mars. Nous vous souhaitons une visite formidable.
Now, her name is actually Morimoto. She's in the credits somewhere. I forget as what. But basically, this colony is named after her. And it may be hard to see, but this is a treadmill. I only walked once, and you can see, you might be able to see it between me upscaling it, the game's motion compression, and YouTube's compression. You might not be able to see it, but there are arrows that are moving to show that, hey, this is a conveyor belt.
Bienvenidos a la colonia marciana Morimoto. Disfruten su visita.
Shuttle lock active. Launch not authorized.
As you can see, we're not authorized to use the shuttle,
Welcome
so we
to the
can't get in.
Morimoto Mars colony. Have a wonderful stay.
Yeah, for some reason they don't have they don't have Japanese in here, which is strange since this is supposed to be a Japanese colony, or at least it was originally a Japanese colony, or at least a mining colony made by a Japanese company.
Shuttle lock active. Launch not authorized.
Well, there's no shuttle there anyway, so let's continue on our merry way. And let's head forward.
Out of my way, human, or die.
Oh, at least you didn't kill
Tunnel
us.
pod has just departed upper transport sector.
And we will have to go that way eventually. But for now, let's look around. And honestly, this is the time to look around because energy is not going to be a problem for us this episode. So we can see, hey, that's where we were, and now we're here. This is apparently just some corporate symbol that we can't actually interact with. There's an ore processing room. Oop. I accidentally skipped the message from our AI pal. But basically she's saying... Oh, it doesn't play again. Okay. Basically what she was going to say is there's no air beyond this point. We can walk
Warning.
in here.
Life support systems not active beyond this point.
But if we pressurize this and spin it around to basically go in that room, we'll die from lack of air. Because, well, it's not pressurized. Not like the rest of the colony is. And there's some info terminals we can... Whew, excuse me. My apologies. There's an info terminal we can look at. I think there's one on each side. I think they both say the same thing.
Like a celestial siren, Mars lures us to its inhospitable shores with visions of unearthly splendor. Thanks to an atmospheric energy shield, you can enjoy the majestic volcano Olympus Mons, the vast canyon Coprates Minor, and many of Mars's other natural wonders from within the comfort of Morimoto Corporation's Mars colony. The generator for the colony's atmospheric shield lies far beneath the planet's surface, the legacy of the miners whose abandoned caverns this colony is built over. Construction of the colony should be completed by June of 2190. Please enjoy your stay.
So basically another 5 years before this is ready for actual human habitation. Well, as like a city that people can live and work in.
The newly erected Morimoto Mars colony rests on the edge of the vast canyon. The colony's gantry, which contains the shuttle docking bay, spans over the Red Canyon. A closer look at the gantry reveals its 140-foot stretch across the canyon, and the 3 cockpit module nodes which transport pilots to and from the ships. After launching from the docking bay, shuttles circle the narrow canyon toward the accelerator tube built on the central plateau. The The tube allows launch shuttles to easily escape the thin atmosphere of Mars. You are currently in the entry hall of the shuttle port. To your right and left are portions of the old mining colony, which have not yet been renovated. These areas are for authorized personnel only. The main entrance to the colony is behind you. Welcome, and please enjoy your stay.
And that's the only bit we get. I think if we go here, because it showed both info kiosks as the kind of the same. Yeah. Now, if you played the original game, you wouldn't want to go in here. But they actually changed it up. I think the hint was that they actually rendered the area behind this door when the robot came in. But you actually need stuff from here.
All arriving tourists are required to check in at reception area. Please refer to gantry kiosks for maps and information on the Morimoto Mars colony.
And as you can see, it's, well, not quite empty, but the robot seems to have knocked out the guards. I assume he didn't kill them because that would cause a temporal rip, I would presume. Because you think about how even one death could presumably cause the non-existence of...
A thermal scan has detected colony personnel in close proximity. TSA Protocol 3 forbids any contact with humans during a temporal restoration mission.
Like, if these people were going to have children and they didn't have them yet, killing them would basically uncreate their children, and uncreate their children's children, and so on and so forth. To the point where if you go back in time, you're wiping out, like, nations worth of people. So I presume that even though some very beautiful stuff, I don't know enough about Japanese culture to know. Like, I don't think that's a kimono. I think that's something else. But then they have, like, this fan. I know fans are, like, a thing in Japan. They have these paintings. It's all very nice. It's just such a pity it's so low res, but, you know, that's a result of the time this was made in. Very beautiful artwork. I'm not normally an art person.
A thermal scan has detected colony personnel in close proximity. TSA Protocol 3 forbids any contact with humans during a temporal restoration mission.
And if you do go through the colony entrance, it does become a game over. Because there are people on the other side. It's actually the same people on both sides. If we go back and let's see if we can trigger the thermal scan. No, weird. It doesn't trigger it. But basically the animation you saw for that side will also play for that side. So it's the same people no matter which door you go through, which is a little funny, but we do need to pick something up here, and that is this access card. We have the identification label, optical contacts, and digital signature circuit matrix. Oh, what do I want? How do I... There we go. Object analysis access card found Mars 8/2/2185 AD. This is an electronically encoded keycard. The back displays an image of the Morimoto Corporation logo. Alright. Registration sector. What is the average velocity? Something. If a swallow is flying east, average velocity. Okay, so they got some jokes written on those monitors. But that's what we've got in here. And like I said, I don't think those guards are killed. I think they're just knocked out. Because, I mean, there's no reason to kill them. The robot can easily incapacitate us, as you saw how easily it tossed me aside. So there's no reason to go guns blazing and possibly alert everyone and fail your mission when you can just use surprise and knock them out. And then this way, if the mission doesn't succeed, then you haven't changed history. So now it's time for the maintenance transport.
Tunnel pod has just arrived in upper transport sector.
So now we're in part of the colony. We're in the old part of the colony. We know from the information that the shield generator is built in the old part of the colony, and we also know it's a restricted area. So we better not get caught here. But there's more to this tram than just taking the ride. can see that there's actually a lot of closed passages because they're clearing out these old tunnels, and some of them are dead ends because the mine didn't pan out or whatever. So you see, we have to basically take a left, right, stay to the right here, go right here, left, and then hold left all the way. Although I'll let you in on a secret, you can just hit left the first time and you'll actually make it to your destination just fine. I think that is actually the route the original Pegasus Prime takes, because the sequence was not interactive in the original Pegasus Prime for like the Mac and PlayStation or whatever it was that it was on. This was added with the GOG and Steam versions. Object Analysis Power Crowbar, found on Mars 822185 AD. This is an ultrasonic power-assisted crowbar made of a strong alumicarb alloy. So yes, it's a crowbar, but supersonic, ultrasonic. Which we can see alloy shaft, the trigger, ultrasonic agitator, and ceramic cam. So we'll just steal that.
Please insert security access card now.
And it just so happens we have a security access card, so we'll take that and bloop.
Caution. Portions of the maintenance transport tunnel are closed for repairs. Confirm accessible destination and clear path prior to departure.
I hit the wrong one. But like I said, it doesn't really matter once you get past that first one. But as you can see, it's also pretty easy, even if you didn't look at the map. They give you just enough time that if you're quick on the trigger, you can figure out which way you're not supposed to go, because they have the do not enter sign there. So that is the tram. And now we're going to get the last thing we need from this area.
This oxygen mask is empty.
Alright, well, let's just fill it up.
This air station is currently empty.
If you are a veteran of Journeyman Project Turbo, yes, you cannot fill up your air here. This is one of the things they changed to make the time zones interdependent. So, there's really not much else we can do here, so we may as well recall. Before that, though, Object Analysis, Oxygen Mask, found Mars 822185 AD. This is a combination oxygen mask and air filter. The mask's air filtration system is fully functional, but because the industry standard connector to one of the oxygen tanks is damaged, it can be refilled to only half of its original 16-minute capacity. So we only get 8 usable minutes of air. And you can see on the display down here, they have the regulator, the tank, and the filter. But it's time to recall, because like I said, there's not much else we can do here. And we don't want to tip the robot off to what we're doing just yet. Not really any mission information to download yet. Our next jump is going to be to 2310 at the World Science Center in Australia. You can see, yeah, the jump is a lot less energy. It's only 6.7 or 6,700 terajoules, and here, yeah, 1,500 terajoules. Even though these two locations are both on our planet, and this one's on another planet. So I think this shows how time is the biggest energy consumer here, and not space. In any case, World Science Center in Sydney, Australia. Temporal distance 279,406,800 seconds. Excuse me. Spatial distance 12,032.727 kilometers. Energy 6,783.2 terajoules.
You are about to travel to the World Science Center in New Sydney, Australia, in the year 2310. In the corrupted history, an influential scientist, Dr. Enrique Castillo, is assassinated during his speech at the Symposium on Alien Contact. Without his impassioned arguments for the benefits of sharing culture with other races, the sentiment of the scientific community toward alien contacts swings to an isolationist attitude, drastically altering history. Agent 5, you have just been shot with a dart coated with an unknown toxin. Your vital signs are beginning to fluctuate.
Your biosuit has been penetrated by a small projectile. Do you want to remove it? Yes.
Your biosuit was able to filter out all but 7 micrograms of the toxin. The substance is a lethal neurotoxin and must be neutralized quickly, or you will perish.
It's actually not lethal. We find that out later. I think she's just kind of jumping the gun here, but we have a tranquilizer dart, and you'll notice our energy will rapidly deplete while it's in our system. And if we leave this room, we will get a game over because we'll get knocked out. Tranquilizer dart, found Australia, 1/17/2310 AD. This ejection dart still contains a small amount of a blue liquid, the rest of which has been injected into your bloodstream. If you had failed to pull it out, the rest of it would have been injected and you would be knocked out. So let's
place compound to be analyzed into the analysis chamber. Nucleonic compound analyzer SL100A.
yes, analyze.
Assessing
Please.
polarity, checking for nuclear emissions, evaluating molecular structure, scanning polypeptide chains. Chemical, complex dihydrogenate-based liquid tranquilizer. Sending analysis information to molecular compositor.
Alright, we actually do have to hurry a little bit here. But, so now we gotta go to the molecular
Sinclair
compositor.
Laboratories Molecular Synthesizer Interface SL100C-1. Now completing download of molecular information from compound analyzer. Dimenhydrinate is a relaxant commonly found in sleep and health aids. In combination with other drugs, its effects can be fatal. It is used as a base for many different forms of tranquilizers. There are antidotes known for several dimenhydrinate-based tranquilizers, all of which are members of the thorazine family.
Well, let's build the thorazine
Two
molecule.
thorazine base molecules have been pre-programmed. These molecules are stable. Variations must be selected manually. In the event that an unstable compound is being created, you will have to begin again. After all 3 molecules have been designed, an antidote can be synthesized.
Well, let's proceed.
Base molecule number 1.
And this is actually a pretty simple puzzle, because the answer is the same each time, they just switch up the order. And they all kind of look like letters, so, what is it? O? J? I? Hey, I got the first one all right.
Base molecule number 2.
OJ. And if you fail, then you're basically time
Base
penalized because
molecule number 3.
the molecule destabilizes and goes boom. it resets the stage. So, like, if you fail at molecule 3, you don't go back to molecule 1. But you can't skip the animation. So if you're running low on energy, it could be a problem. And there we go.
3 stable thorazine-based molecules have been designed. Building base molecules. Bonding additional molecules. Synthesis complete. The synthesized compound will appear in the molecular synthesizer.
And here is the compound synthesizer, so let's take a look. Yeah, we basically got the replicators from Star Trek, so let's take a sip. Antidote, silicon crystal tube, alloy cap, and thorazine compound. Tranquilizer antidote, found Australia 117-2310 AD. This is the antidote to the diamond hydronate compound. It is composed mainly of thorazine. And diamond hydronate is actually a real life sedative. They're using it like animal tranquilizers and stuff, like the machine said, and they're also used in everyday products. Like if you look at Benadryl, the primary ingredient is a diamond hydronate compound, and that's why it makes you drowsy. But we got hit with like elephant grade diamond hydronate compound. So now that we are on a time crunch, you can see we've lost half our energy. Unfortunately, we don't need to drink all of the antidotes. So the next time we come here, we don't need to redo the puzzle. We can just drink it and be on our way. And now this is interesting. We're in Sinclair Laboratories. Sinclair, as you may recall, is the inventor of time travel. And this looks a lot like the robots we've been finding so far. Or androids, perhaps, as they might be technically called. Because they seem to have some intelligence. Let's see, does he have any messages?
Dr. Sinclair, your messages have been forwarded to your office.
Alright, well, we can take this nitrogen canister that was hiding behind the monitor. As you can see, it's empty. We've got, oh, this is going to be hard for me to read. Handle, tank, trigger. I guess that's trying to say nozzle. As you can see, the pressure level is 1.2 atmosphere, so it's essentially the same pressure as our atmosphere, because Earth's atmosphere is 1 atmosphere, I believe.
Transferring argon from canister to reservoir. Ready to discharge argon into smart alloy chamber.
Oh, let's take a look at
Start.
this. Oh, I gotta click on it. Okay, there we go. Ooh, it did not like that. So, smart alloys. Why does it walk forward? Whatever. Smart alloys do not react well to argon.
It is now safe to retrieve your keycard and disengage the argon canister.
And here we have this office keycard registered to Dr. E. Sinclair, photo ID on top, and bio-optical contacts on the bottom. Found Australia 117-2310 AD. This is a security level 8 keycard with built-in photo identification. It is registered to Dr. Elliot Sinclair. And, oh, I didn't quite grab it, but there's an argon canister hidden here. Do I have to walk? I must be able to take it then. Let me take the argon canister. Did it pop into my inventory without realizing it? Oh, it did. Okay. Argon canister. Empty, pressure level 1 atmosphere. As you can see, it's basically the same as the previous one, but it's emblazoned with AR for argon as opposed to N for nitrogen. And I believe that is all that we're going to find here. There's not too much more left to do, so I will make a save here real quick, just because this is a very, very easy place to get screwed. It's a bit of a maze. There's people at every corridor, and what really sucks is our mapping biochip doesn't work because it's a pressurized environment, which is the most bullshit thing ever. But let's see. Let's take out our key card. Here we go. Head this way.
All conference attendees must check in at the main reception in the auditorium complex.
Alright.
Biorhythms of life forms detected nearby. Extreme caution advised.
Yeah, you do need extreme caution in this place, because I forget where it is, but there's at least one area where you do not get any notice. They forgot to put a little...
Biorhythms of life forms detected nearby. Extreme caution advised.
They forget to give you notice, so you can actually unintentionally walk into... Okay, so we're in Lab F. We just came from here. I think, yeah. Yeah, there should have been a lab here. You can see there's more labs, but Sinclair has an office right next to the storage closet, apparently. So let's head there. Not sure Oh, okay, I read it wrong. So this is very beautiful. And we're either on the shore and we're looking out in the water, or we are very high up because there is like no city skyscape or anything. Very beautiful little corner. Alright, so let's go to Sinclair's lab. It should be this one, I want to say.
Dr. Sullivan is currently at the conference. Keycard is required for entry.
Well, it's not Doc. Maybe it was this one.
Dr. Elliot Sinclair is currently at the conference. Keycard is required for entry.
Aha! Yes, we have weird goo doors. Well, Sinclair certainly does not seem to like Dr. Enrique Castile. Just using him as a dartboard there. Ooh, he's got some weapons in his office. Very interesting. Hey, he's got a snake. Isn't it cute? Nope. Okay. Let's see if I can actually... There we go. He's also got a watermelon for some reason. Let's check his messages first, though. And it looks like he has two messages. One from Dr. Candace White and the other from Dr. Sabrina Waldcheck.
Hello, Elliot. This is Dr. White again. I still haven't received results from those morphine tests that I needed the other day. I know you're as excited about this breakthrough as I am, but if you expect to get any credit in the upcoming scientific journal, I'll need to see some practical work from you very soon. Give me a call.
And if you recall from all the heads we saw back at TSA, I believe Dr. Candace White eventually was the one credited with inventing smart morphing alloys. And we have the other from Dr. Sabrina Waldcheck.
Hello, Elliot. This is Dr. Waldcheck. I'm calling to check up on our progress after the neurotransmitter equalizer that I prescribed. I'm afraid that the stress you are under may be a bit much, even for this increased dosage. But still take only 2 a day, even if you are experiencing the anxiety attacks or rapid mood swings like we had last week. But I'm sure you'll be just fine.
Yeah, you may be having panic attacks, but it's whatever, you'll be fine. Just take the prescribed dosage. Well, you learn eventually why he's having those panic attacks, but that's a couple games away.
Welcome to the Symposium on Alien Contact at the World Science Center in Sydney, Australia. The primary purpose of this conference is to allow the scientific community a forum to exchange ideas and opinions about joining the symbiotry of peaceful beings. The primary debate will take place in the main auditorium complex on Wednesday at 9 o'clock, with keynote speakers and world-renowned scientists Dr. Elliot Sinclair and Dr. Enrique Castillo. The debate will be followed by meetings in conference rooms where the many discussions revolving around this volatile issue will be held. Information on discussion groups will be available at the conference check-in at the entrance of the main auditorium. Accommodations are being provided at the New Sydney Metrocosmopolitan Hotel by the Shuttle Port in New Darling Harbor. Thank you. Have a wonderful conference.
So, yeah, it's about aliens and whether we should participate with them or not. And here we can see he's got quite the weapon here. No, not my Journeyman key!
Agent 5. Do not disturb the current environment and possibly the current time stream without extreme cause. Also, as a TSA agent, you are forbidden to carry lethal weapons under Protocol 37.
And the reason for that is they don't want us to accidentally uncreate people in the future, like we had talked about earlier. That's why we're supposed to be strictly non-lethal. Object analysis, M16A, well, it's going to probably an A2 variant given when this game was made. M16A2 assault rifle with M203 grenade launcher. Found Australia 1/17/2310 AD. This antique assault rifle was issued by the United States Armed Forces in the late 20th century. It can fire 5.62mm cartridges in short, lethal bursts, and it's also in mint condition. Unfortunately, use of such weaponry is forbidden by TSA regulations. Actually, it should be 5.56, not 5.62, so they goofed up there. Unless it was supposed to be different to say, hey, this was a future version of the M16. Woo! But yeah, you can see, looks like they got some sort of scope mounted on it. I don't know what all the bulk along the side is supposed to be. One side of the M16 typically has like a push assist to help clear jams and such, but that almost looks like they have it on both sides. They have the leaf sight for the grenade launcher. Otherwise, grenade launcher's down there. That looks alright. I don't know if they'd still have that front end up with the sights installed, but nah. As you can see here, target sight, and they act like it's a frickin' laser. Grenade trigger, which apparently is another laser. Rifle trigger back there. Magazine. And it looks like, based on this, 5, 10, it looks like it's got 20 rounds loaded in it, assuming that's right. Which is strange, because typically these curved mags you only see with a 30-round magazine. Also, it's a little bit thick, I think. But maybe that's just me. So, very interesting example he's got there, but we're not allowed to have fun, so we will put it back. Find criteria discovery. 3 matching entries found. We'll start with smart alloys. 572307.
I had an interesting thought today while working on the contact-sensitive smart alloys project. It's given that all elements behave in a manner that is consistent with their atomic properties. For example, it is consistent for manganese to bond with barium cobalt in a very particular way under certain conditions. In a sense, these universal instruction sets are similar to the DNA which regulates the behavior of all cells in biological organisms. This being the case, it's conceivable that any non-organic matter can be programmed to respond at the molecular level to a set of predetermined instructions and instruction codes. So imagine a lamp which upon command could take the form of a chair, a table, or even a work of art. The possibilities are infinite. I'm confident that a proposal to do further research in this direction will be met with approval.
Sounds an awful lot like our robot friend that hit us with that dart. Let's see what morphing is. 11/24/2308.
This month has been fraught with discoveries about the morphing process. We learned how to morph all of the elements, but only after we realized that a certain few of them are immutable. Specifically, the inert gases, like argon and krypton. Well, because of their unique electrochemical properties, they simply are immutable. Even worse, these elements actually interfere with the bonding of surrounding molecules and bring the whole process to a halt. On the plus side, we have also discovered that if proper care is taken, even organic matter could foreseeably be altered in form.
Well, I don't know if I want my organic matter being altered. But, that sounds an awful lot like our robot friend. And we saw the effects of it, too, in the lab. Where the argon was discharged, and it just completely messed up that process. And, like, it was shape-shifting normally, and then it just went blah. And now we have one last piece of history here. Time bending, November 30th, 2309.
This journal is, beyond a doubt, the most important of my career, as today marks my first success in the application of time distortion theory. By creating a localized neutrino acceleration matrix, I was able to bend time for just a fraction of a second. Anything entering into the distortion field slipped back in time for just a moment, creating a visual effect similar to light refraction in water in a swimming pool. It may not seem like much, but it's truly more than any physicist could hope to achieve in a lifetime. And while it may be eons before there's any practical application of this theory, everything great was achieved one small step at a time, and this is definitely the first step.
Energy level, 50%.
Alright. It is now safe to shut off your system. Actually should be... Where is it? There was another bit. I guess we'll have to get our second walkthrough maybe, because it might have been in the first lab that I missed. But I know there is... he works on a rat called Algernon, and he experiments with biochip implantation. The very same biochips that we use. Yeah, maybe it was in the first lab. Yeah, because I don't see it. So we'll have to get that next time. But as it is, we've gathered basically everything we need from this time zone for now. You can see we've got the containers and such. So there's just one last stop to make. And so we are going to recall to the Pegasus now. And yeah, there's not really much information to download. So now for our last trip today, we will be traveling to NORAD 6, Mid-Atlantic Ocean, temporal distance 6,529,248,371 seconds, spatial distance 4,847.05 kilometers, energy 15,783.2 terajoules.
You are about to travel to the underwater military installation NORAD 6. In the altered history, an unauthorized missile launch leading to a nuclear explosion over the World Unification talks ends the peace conference in Gorbistan, creating a resurgence of the nuclear proliferation of the 20th century. Your mission is to restore the proper flow of history by stopping the missile launch from occurring.
You are no match for me, human. But I love a challenge.
Warning. Detecting trace concentrations of a sleeping gas in the atmosphere.
Alright, well, we have a solution for that because our oxygen mask also has an air filter. There we go. It's weird that you have to click on the O2, but that will prevent our energy from draining too much. So let's see what's going on here. Also, I think we have a security leak possibly, because either that first robot that we saw is communicating through time and space to his buddies to say, hey, I found the guy that's out of place, be careful, or someone knows, whoever did this knows, the TSA exists and had his robots prepared to intercept us. And the fact that they know our jump coordinates too is unsettling, to say the least. In any case, let's see what's going on here. We're at 6 Alpha Sector, gas intake and dispensing station, security override disabled. Intake mode, intake into main air supply, unknown gas contaminant. Oh, well, that's the same symbol we saw at Sinclair Laboratories. It's affecting all 4 sectors. Well, let's take this guy out for a second.
It may be advisable to leave the gas canister in its current position.
The reason is, if you take it out and then try to walk out of here, the base will wake up and they'll arrest you. Which obviously isn't good for us. So gas container warning, sleeping gas detected. We see a nozzle, main tank, and auxiliary tank. So it must be like a 2-stage gas where like maybe they're inert when they're alone, but then when they mix at this point up here before being intake, then it becomes like the super potent sleeping gas or something. That would be my guess. Object analysis. Gas canister found NORAD 6 515 2112 AD. This gas canister of unknown origin contains a sleeping agent that was keeping the personnel of NORAD 6 unconscious until you removed it. The main tank is constructed of latticed alumasteel, a smart alloy not invented until 2307. So this is definitely the work of that time traveler. And again, it's got that Sinclair Laboratories symbol on it, which is a little concerning. But there's some... Oops. There are some things we need to fill here. First off, our nitrogen canister. Oh, come on. So as you can see, we have a wide variety of gases we can expel. So let's expel nitrogen. Receptacle filled. And if we look, we can see it's now charged at a pressure level of 7.8 atmospheres. This canister is specially designed to store liquid nitrogen, a potent freezing agent. The connector on the receptacle is based on a standard industry specification that dates back to the 22nd century. And now we can move our other container here, the argon canister. And now that it's charged, we can take a look at it. It's charged to only 5.3 atmospheres. And we can see this is a high-pressure gas canister designed to hold argon, an inert gas. The connector on the receptacle is based on a standard industry specification that dates back to the 22nd century. Which, as you may recall, this gas mask is from the 22nd century. So there's one more thing we need to dispense, and that is oxygen. And now you can see it's full. And yeah, okay, it doesn't change description at all. But the last thing we have to do, because if we try to jump back now, they won't let us jump back. So we'll put it on, but we aren't going to set the intake mode, which honestly should alter history. We'll see if we can get away with that, and let's see if we can recall. Okay, we can. That should alter history, because by putting it back on there, we're leaving it there. But by not putting it on intake mode, it's not sucking in the sleeping gas anymore, so it should have woken up all the agents and probably caused a major fiasco. But apparently the developers didn't think that through. In any case, either that or the robot realizes we jump out and he goes back in and turns it on. One or the other. In any case, that's everything we need to go through the rest of the game in an expedient fashion. So I think we're going to leave it off where we began, right here, except with a few more items. So with that, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for next time, and stay safe out there, and we'll see you then.